So just a little bit about the Minnesota Board of Animal Health. You know, we've been around for a long time, established in 1903. And originally our title was the Minnesota Livestock Sanitary Board. And it was really set up for disease control and eradication. We work with domestic animals, and so our mission is to protect the health of Minnesota's domestic animals. You know, we have a lot of education programs going on. We cooperate with veterinarians, producers, owners. You know, actually some of the impact, especially with high path AI, even filters down into communities. And I think when we look at our overall goal here, you know, I think healthy animals for healthy people and communities is really where we're at. You know, we have a lot of information on our Board of Animal Health website here. And really and I will mention at the end of our talk is that if you're looking for updates, if you're looking for the latest information, instead of trying to call or get information from your neighbor, go to our Board of Animal Health website. All the up-to-date information is there. A little bit more about the board, just so that you have kind of an understanding, because I think we are a state agency that is often not seen or in the press very much. Certainly, we do our best work behind the scenes when we're working on some of our programs. However, we are an independent state agency. We have a 6-member board that is appointed by the governor. These individuals do represent different livestock commodities from throughout the state. So we'll have a cattle representative, swine, poultry producer, and we have some veterinarians on our board as well. We oversee livestock, poultry, companion disease programs. We'll have surveillance programs where we'll have samples come in where we're looking for diseases actively, or we can respond when we have a diagnosis from a veterinarian, whatever. We work within the One Health approach, certainly making sure that if there are some diseases that can be a problem with people and really a public health type of an issue, certainly we jump on that pretty quickly. Many of you are already probably involved with our permitting process, where we permit hatcheries, poultry dealers, community sales, and exhibitions. And so for some of us, or for some of you, we are very familiar because we actually have worked with you every year with our processes for applications, inspections, that kind of thing. Certainly, we partner with farmers, industry, veterinarians, academia. We've got lots of friends across the state. And you know, again, as part of our mission, you know, with diseases, we plan, we prepare, we do disease surveillance, and really we respond to those disease detections. And currently, I mean, the situation that we have right now and the foreign animal disease that we have on the landscape is certainly a big problem for us. It's a problem for all poultry producers in the state. And unfortunately, the approach that we do need to take with this is eradication of the disease. So where are we? We're really located throughout the state. We've got Board of Animal Health field staff, as you can see, located, you know, really throughout the state. Our field staff consists of both Board of Animal Health employees, which would be state employees, and then we also have a combination or a number of different USDA field staff that are located throughout the state as well. And they help us with our disease response activities, inspections, some testing for poultry that we do, some sample collection, you know, that kind of stuff. We do have 2 main offices, if you will, that I would like you to see kind of hidden underneath this green box here, but our main office is in St. Paul at the Minnesota Department of Agriculture building in St. Paul. And our state veterinarian, Dr. Beth Thompson, along with staff, are located there, and they handle the majority of our board office programs or board programs. Again, cattle, swine, cervid industry, dog, cat, sheep, and goats. However, we do have another facility approximately 100 miles west of the Twin Cities in Wilmer called the Minnesota Poultry Testing Laboratory. And that is where I am stationed along with Dr. Shauna Voss, some of you who are pretty familiar with Shauna, as well as some of our staff that help us with some of the poultry programs that we have with the board. The board in Minnesota does have 2 official laboratories, and I mentioned this because for some of you who are on the southeast part of the state, you may use the University of Minnesota Veterinary Diagnostic Lab in St. Paul. They have the ability to do all of the poultry diagnostic testing for highly pathogenic avian influenza that we are able to do in Wilmer at the MPTL. And so again, when we're looking at testing for HPAI, you really have 2 different options here in the state. Not all states have that option, so we're really pretty fortunate. But of course, because it's outstate, because the MPTL is really a new facility that was renovated in 2016, obviously, it seems to work pretty well to have samples come here, but again, they can go to the St. Paul laboratory as well. Just a couple more details on MPTL located in Wilmer, which is in Kandiyohi County. And actually it began, if you look at it historically, as a joint venture between the board and the University of Minnesota, and actually is considered a branch laboratory of the VDL. This lab, along with the diagnostic lab in St. Paul, have this national accreditation with AAVLD as well as NAL. So those are 2 organizations that certify laboratories or accredit laboratories across the country, and is really important for commerce or trade. And it also provides assurances that samples, if they're tested in Minnesota, Tennessee, New York, California, will all have the same, SOPs or the same testing procedures, and you really can expect the same results no matter where you send those samples if they're a known laboratory. We also are an NPIP authorized laboratory, and we do a lot of very specific testing for salmonella, avian influenza, and mycoplasma. So that's another hat that we really wear in our normal day-to-day operations. We at MPTL conduct the NPIP board program testing and other regulatory testing that is required for board program participation. We also have a pathologist on board here at the MPTL. And so poultry necropsies or other types of testing for poultry in the diagnostic realm can be done here at MPTL. However, not just a laboratory, but we also have other Board of Animal Health programs. We serve as the official state agency for the NPIP. We have a number of different poultry program activities that we are involved with. And I suspect there are a number of the listeners on the call who are authorized poultry testing agents, and that enables those individuals, after they've been trained by the board, to conduct certain types of testing in the field, as well as collect different samples for some of our disease control programs.